So today, right? Today, no, I'll be giving you introduction on agile. Okay. So so yesterday we talked about various types of methodologies. Okay, what methodologies we have? Um, so various DLC methodologies, waterfall model, and helical, spiral methodology, incremental, SDLCs. We have talked about a lot of methodologies. And today, we talk about agile. So most of the time, you will be in agile, okay? And so we'll just go through this, agile. So what is exactly this agile is, and how do we work on that? Okay. Again, this is a methodology. Okay, this is not a software. This is not a software. Okay, give me access. I'll work on this. No, it doesn't work that way. This is a framework. Okay, framework in it's a process. It's a process. But these methodologies are decided from the management perspective. So you are not really, involved in, what we have to do. We need to choose agile. We need to choose waterfall. We are not deciding that, but we need to know this because since you'll be working on this, okay, you need to have some, knowledge on this one. Okay, so let's start with this. Okay, let's go. Terminologies. Let's talk about these terminologies. Okay. Did I miss something? Maybe these guys have changed this. Oh. I should have, saved this in PDF, right? These guys have changed. I guess let's quickly check. Okay. I guess these guys have changed everything. So, okay, let's see pretty quick. Oh, we have this. Okay, good. Okay, so they have changed a lot of things here. So we'll just so similar process. Um, okay, let's talk about these terminologies. Okay, so so we'll go through roles. Okay, what we use in agile. So let's say product owner. So who is exactly this product owner? So in waterfall methodologies or any other methodologies, we call this as business analyst, right? The same guy, the same business analyst is called product owner in agile, right? He or she is actually the product owner. That means he's a business analyst, okay? And what are the responsibilities of a business analyst? You can go ahead and see this. This is also sometimes called as stakeholder. Okay, and they prepare a lot of documents. This BRD, FRD, and they have to coordinate with the business team. They have to coordinate with the developer team. They have to coordinate with the testing team. Make sure everything is good as per the requirement, and so that's what the job of product owner. That means business analyst. Okay, you call it product owner here, and okay, let's check here. Okay, so don't think we have this here, but we'll go through this. Okay, So that's the product owner. Then you have development team. Of course, there will be a development team. Okay, so in the development team may consist of since it's a broad term, developer means it can be any developer. If you go more into detail, you know developer can any developer like Java developer, web developer, HTML developer, and so on, ETL developer. Okay, a lot of developers. So you don't know which developer will be in your team, but since it's normally it has to be flexible. Let's say when you open a defect, if the concerned developer, let's say you have the issue with ETL, but in your team you don't really have the ETL developer, you have Java developer, right? So in that way, some companies are really flexible, that's good. You can coordinate with that particular person who is not really in the team, because in your team you have Java developer, but since you open a defect that is really related to ETL stuff, now you need to coordinate with the ETL developer, which might be in a different team. It's not really in our team. Okay, so that might be a scenario. Okay, so but again, just make sure you need to check with Scrum Master. Okay, because it's not always companies encourage coordinating with the developer team outside the team. Okay, because it's not very good idea. You need to check with Scrum Master. They again, they have to check if there is they can coordinate or not. So that's what. So because in agile environment, let's say in agile we are working on Scrum, right? Scrum is one of the level in agile. Okay, so now in the Scrum, what happens is that you have a teams. Okay, team 1, team 2, team 3. Okay, then that team is normally 5 to 10 people. Okay, 5 is good. 10 people, you don't want more than 10 people. It becomes really burdensome if you have more people. Small people is good. And if you have more than that, you want to put it in a different team and put and assign a Scrum Master, and you can work on that. So that's one way. Okay, so that's a approach of Scrum. You cannot have, you don't want to have more than, it's not recommendable to have more than 10 people in one team. 5 people, it's good. One Scrum Master, 1 tester, 2 developers or 3 developers, that's good. But you don't want to have more than 10 people. Next you have Scrum Master. Okay, who is exactly Scrum Master is what you call in other methodologies, a project manager is actually Scrum Master here. Okay, so it's not a really traditional, as they said, this is really not the same guy, but you can, based on the responsibilities, then decide Scrum Master. But to understand in a low layman's language, you want to say the Scrum Master is project manager, but it's really not a project manager. Okay, because the responsibilities here are completely different for Scrum Master than project manager. You want to look at the responsibilities, you can look at the responsibilities. Okay, and what is Scrum Master plays a major role in agile. So agile is a little bit different. Okay, because see, here's the thing, when you open a defect, okay, now when you open a defect, right, it has to, you need to coordinate with the developer, right? Now, you open the defect, you assign the defect to the developer, and you go ahead, you went to the developer and said, now this is the defect, and this is to be, fixed, and, say the developer says, no, I don't have time to work on a defect, and I'm not going to work on a defect. Now, you want to wait to see what is to do, and you really assign it, but developer really doesn't care, because he has a lot of work to do. Maybe he's working on production issues, maybe he has a lot of issues, he is working, so don't worry about it. So again, you need to coordinate with whom? Scrum Master. Why? Because the Scrum Master responsibility is to remove the impediments in the team. Look at this. This is promoting self-organization. They need to organize, helping the Scrum team to avoid the impediments. So what are the impediments? You know, technically you can call as defects or any coordination issue or you know anything. So you need to look for whom? Scrum Master, because of course developer might not work on that, because developer may not have time to work on this. Okay, so you need to check with Scrum Master. Now let me tell you this, you know, there are companies who don't even know their own responsibilities. Okay, so you need to show them, you know, just use this, tell them, you know, that, see what happened, right? Let me tell you, you know, when I was working, right? Now, the similar situation happened. You know, I opened a defect, you know, coordinated with the developer saying that, hey, this is the developer, and no, I don't have time to work on this. I'm working on different issues. Okay, so okay, that's fine. But mine is also important, right? Because I need to, you know, escalate this issue, and this has to be, you know, fixed, because this is an issue. So now, you know, your boss doesn't help on this. Okay, so now take on this. Your boss is nowhere related on this. You cannot go and talk to your boss. No, that's not a very good idea. Okay, if you are lucky, if your boss is good, then you are lucky, but not always. So now, who is the one to fix this? Scrum Master. Now I take that Scrum Master is, you know, talk to that guy, hey, you know what, this is an issue, and you know, we have this issue, and this is the defect that is open. Can you please, you know, check with the team, because I already checked with them. Can you know, tell them to. But now what happened, right? I emailed them, and what happened? My boss suddenly saying that, why did you send the defect to Scrum Master? What it has to do with Scrum Master? Then I have to explain my boss saying that, okay, so based on my experience, based on my knowledge, you know, Scrum Master responsibility is to remove the impediments from them. So I, you know, escalated. So now they understood that what's the responsibilities of their own. Because neither Scrum Master knows, neither my boss knows, nobody in the team know what they're doing. So it's pretty much chaos. So when they ask such kind of questions, they'll be, you know, very, you know, furious, you know, why did you do this? You know, who told you to do this? That, you know, just show them this URL, you know, show them, why don't you go and read this? And look at this, you know, helping team, okay, where was that? Okay, helping the Scrum team to avoid removements, whether it's external or internal. Doesn't matter. Now that's the responsibility of Scrum Master. It's the right answer. So, you know what? When you get such kind of questions, show them this. You know, they'll never ask you question again next time. Okay, because they don't even know. Okay, so that's the responsibilities of Scrum Master. So if developer doesn't do, tester doesn't do, no need to coordinate the Scrum Master, because your boss doesn't know anything. Okay, doesn't. You know, even if they know, they will not tell you, okay, because they are hired to make sure you are doing it right. So, but they will not tell what is right. Right? You need to figure it out. So that's the reason. Okay, so that's the responsibilities of Scrum Master. Okay, and okay, so let's go to the next one, that is okay, product backlog. Let's talk about this. Not change everything. Save this in PDF file. So product backlog. So what exactly is this product backlog? Now product backlog is a requirement. Now, okay, product backlog is a requirement, but now you need to understand this product backlog is very high level requirement. So now as a tester, as a developer, as a whoever, but I don't understand anything other than technical. I need some technical information, you know, right? Mapping document or requirements, FRD, you know, BRD or something which is technical related, so that I can proceed my test cases or need to start testing or whatever I need to do. But this thing, right, this product backlog is something which is really not so technical. I mean, this has nothing to do with technical actually, but still it's a requirement. Okay, and I would say, you know, it's a very high level requirement. It can be as high level as a one-line statement in an Excel sheet. You know, you know what, this product backlog can be just one line statement saying that, let's say if you have done, since you were in this or GMO plan, so, they can say like, okay, GMO online, we are to design GMO online. So that's a product backlog. Now you don't know what to test when you give such kind of requirements, right? That's still a requirement, The business analyst or the product owner, can, okay, so this is the product backlog. Now you have to do what you have to do. Now we don't know, because you look at this, it's a non-functional requirement. That means it's nothing, technical on this. If you have technical, that's good, but product backlog doesn't have any technical information. It can be as high level as just one line statement in Excel sheet. Okay, that's a product backlog. Again, it's a requirement. Okay, this is a requirement from the product owner or stakeholders saying that, okay, this is what we are doing. We said, okay, but as a developer, as a tester, really we cannot do anything just on product backlog. So even if you get product backlogs, nothing to do with this. Okay, so that's product backlog. So we'll talk about this. Now, how can you do this? Now, even if it's so internet issue here, I don't think I have internet issue here. We have, high. So some people can hear, okay, some people can hear me and some people are not. So people who cannot hear, please check with your respective managers, please, so that, we can work on this one, okay? Please check with your respective managers. If you cannot hear, okay? Let me ping on this, okay? So it's, okay, so people who cannot hear me, okay, please check with the respective managers, okay, so they can do, okay, so because my internet is good, I mean, I don't have, and some people can hear already, so some people cannot, okay. Okay, so next, we'll go to, that's a product backlog, okay. So let's go to the next one. Okay, sprint. Sprint. So sprint, first we'll talk about the sprint. Sprint is a time box unit. Okay, so what is sprint is like, it's a time. Okay. Sprint is a time. Okay, again, like people who cannot hear, please, can you please check with your managers, because, okay, please check with your managers, okay, so that, they could, they could do something, because here is, some people can hear, some people are not, so, that's a different issue actually. Okay, sprint backlog. What is a sprint? Sprint is, a time box unit. Okay, sprint is a time box unit. So that means it consists of time. Okay, let's say here for sake of convenience, we'll take like sprint is normally 1 month. Okay, so it's not necessarily just 1 month. It can be 15 days. It can be 20 days. Okay, based on whatever the requirement is. But we'll, for the sake of convenience, we'll take 1 month. So what is sprint? It's a time box unit with, which consists of 20 to 30 days. Okay. And sprint backlog is something which is, to be completed. So backlog items to be completed in that sprint. Okay. So backlog items which are to be completed is called sprint backlog. Okay. And so, okay, we'll go through this. Okay, we'll go through this agile. Let's continue with this one. Okay, next you have, let's go to the next one. So if you see here, right, there is no testers involved. If you see this product backlog, that's fine. Developer team, that's fine. Scrum master, but testers, they are not. So what they are trying to do is they want to eliminate testers. In Agile, what they're trying to do is they want to eliminate testers. But that's not possible, right? Because, see, again, this might be a question from your boss. Okay, you know, your boss might tell, okay, we don't need any testers. Why don't you, do the development? Why don't you? So that would be a question from your boss. So, you need to make them understand. Because, see, we cannot eliminate testers completely. Because even if even let's say even if you have developer, now developer does the testing. That's right. Developer does the testing, but developer does the testing based on business perspective. Now, okay, and the tester does the only testing, doesn't develop anything. But there's testers test based on customer point of view. Okay. Now, if you are taking only developers, now developer doesn't know about any kind of testing, right? So they don't know functional testing, they don't know STLC, what they need to do, what documentation they have to do. There's a lot of documentation part, there's a lot of understanding part, a lot of things to be understood, but they don't know anything on that. They only know the development point of view. They're just checking the code and check out the code, put the code, coordinate with them, that's it. But they don't know about this testing. So that's the reason we cannot eliminate completely testers. Okay, so that's what you need to say. We also need testers in Agile, because whenever a developer does the testing, developer does testing based on business perspective. That is, code is good, yeah, code is working fine, there is no issues. Okay, business wanted this code, that's good, that's fine. Now testers test based on customer perspective. Okay, we are not looking at the code. We are looking at the lot of features. What are the features we have there? Is the feature working properly? Is the feature not working properly? What are the functionalities? We have to look at it. What are the functionalities that are not working? So all this is not done by developers, right? So that's why you cannot remove testers in Agile environment. So your boss might tell you, okay, they might tell you, no, we don't need any testers. So then you need to tell them that why not? Okay, and you need to explain this to your boss. Okay, so that's in the development. So they don't have testers. You see this, and now let's go to the next one, that is charts. So we already discussed on these charts. There are various types of chart, like sprint down chart, release burn up chart. Okay, so if you want to see this, so let's go quickly here. So here you see this. Okay, you have this lot of charts here, right? So this is automatically, this is automatically generated by the rally itself. So you are not doing anything. Okay, let's see pretty quick here. Look at this. So this is a burn down chart. Okay, burn down chart, and it is plotted in the x-axis. That is the number of days. Okay, and on the y-axis is number of hours. Okay. So this is a burn down chart. So previously, traditional way of doing was traditional day of plotting this chart was there. Used to have the big plot printers, and they used to plot it and put on the stick on the walls. So that was the traditional way of doing. But these days it's really not required. You want some graph, just go ahead and iteration burn down, or just go into the rally, and just view that graph. That's it. You don't have to because plotting this graph, you want to do it manually, that requires a lot of resources. You want to dedicate some guy to do that, again, you are using a lot of resource, like, you need to use this printer, you need to use this, huge paper sticking on the board, and this, actually you are using a lot of resources. So you don't want to use that, you can use right here in front of, in front of your system. Okay, so you don't have to use it separately. So anyone are doing traditional way, you can recommend them, saying that, hey, Rally has its own graph, we don't have to print anything, we don't have to, this eliminates the amount of labor work what is required in plotting the graph, and eliminates resources, most importantly. So you can view it right online. Okay, so then we have various charts. Okay, so since we discussed in the Rally, okay, so there's a lot of charts, right? The similar thing, you have here a burn down chart, burn up chart, and velocity, spike. These are okay. So no, these two are different. I mean, this this agile actually keeps on evolve. They keep on evolving it. Okay, so this keeps on having new functionalities. So that's about it. And any questions so far? Okay, so let's go to the next topic. Pretty much let's go to this agile overview. Okay, so this is a Scrum process. Okay, what is that? This is a product backlog. That means 1, 2, 3, 4 backlogs you have. Now this is non-technical, non-functional, non-BRD. This is completely. It's kind of just one line statement or 2 line statements. You don't even understand what have to do with the testing. Okay, so this is the product backlog. Now that is divided into sprint backlog. That means how many sprint it has to go to break it up. So you're breaking up this user stories in the technical information. Now that's a little bit understandable, but again, you don't know what sprint backlog would be, because again, these are decided by Scrum Master. Let's say one product backlog is divided into 4 different sprints. Okay, 4 different sprint backlogs with 3, 4. For sake of convenience, don't have to be 4. It can be 5. It can be less. It can be more. Okay. So one product backlog is divided into 4 sprints: sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, sprint 4. Okay, one sprint. Now, okay, so here you don't have this. Now each sprint backlog is divided into user stories. Now that is where the technical information comes from. You know user story, right? We have seen this in the Rally. You see this? These are all user stories. You see this? There's a lot of user stories here. So these are the user stories. Okay. So that one sprint backlog is divided into many user stories. Don't have to be one. Can be 1, 2, 3. And again, it should not reach more than 10. Okay, it's not really recommended to have more than 10 user stories. But yeah, one sprint backlog is divided into user stories. Now user stories are technical. Now you know what to do. Once you get the user stories, you need to know what the development is going on, what the testing is going on. Okay, so that's supposed to be here. Actually, I didn't mention it. So again, this sprint, as I told you, sprint lasts for 30 days. Not really. It depends on how the project is. And 30 days, and then after you complete one sprint, you deliver the work product. So this is the Scrum process. Okay, Scrum, agile process you follow. Okay, product backlog, you divide it into more, into sprint backlog. That means here you are dividing in time. How many months it has to go? How many days it has to go? And each sprint is divided again to user stories, right? And once that user story, so this is this is based on what is priority, which is a priority issue, and which has to move into next release. It has to from there? Okay, so for, you plan, you divide into user stories, and to complete that and deliver that product. Okay, so that is the about the process. Okay, Scrum process. Any questions in Scrum process? So yes, what is Scrum? Scrum is again, it's a it's a an incremental and iterative and incremental process in agile development. Okay, it's a framework. It's a part in agile. Okay, since as I told you, there are so many frameworks here. This is this, you know, these are the part in the agile. So if you say no, we are working in agile. So that doesn't. It's a like high level term saying that okay, we're working in agile, but you don't know really what you're working. Are you working on Scrum? Are you working in Kanban? Are you working on extreme programming? Are you working on? So this is it's kind of based on the requirements. You decide this which process you need to follow, which framework you need to follow inside the agile. Okay, so there's so many options here. So these are kind of options. Okay, these are options not for you, for the management to decide which they have to follow and which have to move. Okay, so they decide based on this. So Scrum, they mostly most of the time they use Scrum. Okay, so that's what it is. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Let's talk about this meetings. Okay, so you have a lot of meetings here. So a lot of meetings will be happening. So you have the sprint planning session. Okay, sprint planning session where so what you do in this, you actually now let's say you have come in the sprint backlog stage. Now in the sprint backlog stage, they divide all these user stories, plenty of user stories there, and you need to assign that user stories, who will be working on, which team will be working on all those things. Okay, so let's say sprint 1. Okay, sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, sprint 4, right? In sprint 1, which user story is priority, and that user story is pushed in sprint 1. So all this is decided in sprint planning, and who will be working on it. Okay, they will figure it out, who is the ETL tester, who is the QA tester, which developer has to work on it, and who has to work on it. Okay, they will decide all this and in the sprint planning session. Okay. So here is, see this, what you do here is you communicate the scope of work. So if sometimes developer says no, we cannot do this in this sprint because we already have some issues going on, we need to work on that, and this is a dependent issue. Okay, so sometimes a dependent user story, if you don't complete this, you cannot complete that user stories. All this should be coordinated with the business team, talk to them saying that, so most of the time developers will be running this. I mean, developers run the show because you may not have this lot of information because those guys knows what to do inside the code. So how much time will it take inside the code, because how much coordination it has to take, a lot of things, right, to know. So as a tester, at least to start with, you may not know, but once you get experience, 1, 2 years, 3 years, you'll be able to talk on this too. Okay, but to start with, developers normally run the show. Okay, and this planning is started. The Scrum Master starts this sprint planning. Okay, and this planning, sprint planning lasts for 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours. Okay, and they'll make sure they'll use your lunch time. So they'll start from 10, 10 to 2 or 10 to 3. So so that's how they do this sprint planning. So they talk about this. Okay, what is the backlogs you need to complete? Okay, what is the priority user stories that has to go in this release? Okay, this sprint. So sprint. So you call release in waterfall methodology. You call sprint in agile. Okay, so that's the difference. So all these things you are deciding sprint planning. There is one more meeting called sprint grooming session. So that's really not here. Okay. So let's say if you were not able to complete all the all these things in the sprint planning, you also have sprint grooming session. Okay. So what you do on that? So you do continuing whatever you left in sprint planning or discuss the same. If there's a lot of team members and a lot of work, then you want to discuss who will be working on that and how much time will it be required. Okay, because they decide, so they'll have this numbering system. Okay, let's say developer says, okay, 5 means 5 days. Okay, they say 5, that doesn't mean that they are only for development. 5 means 3 days for development, 2 days for testing. Okay, so they will decide this on numbering, because numbering is important, because how fast you can finish this user story is important, right? So now Scrum Master says, no, we cannot have that much time. 5 days is too much. No, we cannot do this. Okay, and now they have to someone to tell that, okay, so this is not something that can be done so quickly, because we have to coordination. There's a lot of coordination, and there are a lot of files that has to be transferred, and we need to coordinate from the different team to get this transfer done, and there's a lot of ETL work too. So this cannot be done in less than 5 days. So then Scrum Master says, okay, okay, that's fine. Okay, so here you see this. They were in voting system. This is kind of numbering. They say, okay, 5 days, 4 days. Okay, we'll complete in this 5 days. Okay, so this is in sprint planning. And who are invited here? Now, again, not all people are invited. Your boss is never invited in sprint planning session. Okay, who is invited? Developers, testers, business analysts. Okay, managers are really not recommended unless they are really on technical side. Let's say dev manager is really working on 2-3 things like development projects. They're also working on coordination on middleware team, and they're also working on production. Then they might also involve in sprint planning. But as managers are really not required in sprint planning, because they have no idea what to do in the sprint planning session. Okay, because they really not. They don't have any work in this. Okay, so that's about sprint planning. Any questions? Sometimes there might be dependent user stories, so they push the user story to next sprint. Okay, so okay, we are not going to do this in the sprint because there's a lot of work that is to be done, so they push it to next sprint. Okay, so that's one thing. And daily sprint. Okay, so daily sprint, what you do in this daily sprint, daily scrum. Okay, not sprint, it's a scrum. So it's a time box in it which lasts for 15 to 20 minutes. That's it. You are not going long. If your daily scrum lasts for 1 hour, then you are doing something wrong. Okay, it's not, it's not supposed to last more than 15 to 20 minutes. Okay. So it has to be only, and what you discuss in this daily scrum, okay, what you're going to discuss is 3, right? Okay. 4 important things. What have you done yesterday? What are you going to do today? What are you going to do tomorrow? And what are the impediments that you're working on? So it's for everyone. This is for developers. This is for testers. Okay. So this is what they discuss in the daily scrum. 4 important things that everyone has to answer this. What have you done yesterday? What are you going to do today? What are you going to do tomorrow? What are the impediments that you raised or you're working on? Okay. So that is need to be discussed. 4 important things. There, don't discuss anything other than this. So that's the daily scrum. Okay. Look at this. Look at this picture. This is this kind of daily scrum meeting. There's a lot of people here involved here. So one of them will be a scrum master who actually organizes this meeting, and the other people are testers. Most of them are testers. 1 or 2 guys will be most of them will be developers, and 1 or 2 guys will be testers. Okay. So this is how. So normally they will have this board actually. In the board they will be talking about just a board kind of like this. You know, um, now this is a traditional way. Really, this is not really required. If you have Rally, that's good. You can discuss right from here. You have all the user stories. You have all the things here, right here. So really, this is not really required. This is the traditional way of doing this. Okay. So that is daily Scrum. Any questions in daily Scrum? So we are discussing about the different meetings. Okay, so you'll be using this daily. This is a daily meeting. You cannot escape this. Normally it starts like 9 a.m. Last for 9:15 at the max 9:20. Now you're not doing more than 20, 15, 20 minutes. Okay. Okay. So let's go to the next one: sprint review and retrospective meeting. So here, this is the end of the sprint actually. Even if it is not end, it's the next sprint. Even sometimes the next sprint gets started, and you want to do the sprint review for the previous sprint, you can do that. Okay. And what you discuss in the sprint again, who organizes this meeting is Scrum Master organizes this, and what do you discuss in this? So three major things that you discuss is what went good, what didn't go good, how can we improve which didn't go good. Okay, this is the three, because this is an evolving, right? This Scrum is actually the evolving thing. You keep on doing improving based on based on the company's requirement, company's policies. Just keep on evolving, because some places you do something else. Some other places you cannot do the same thing because it's a different procedure, different way of doing, so you cannot really do. So this is kind of evolving thing. So that's why you require the sprint review and retrospective, because you want to make sure everything is good. Okay, so that's why you want to discuss what went good, what didn't go good, and how can we improve which didn't go good. This is what you discuss. So everyone has to say some or other thing which went good and which didn't go good. Like just like you have 12 user stories. Now you say no, 12 user stories is really not a good idea, because I know it requires a lot of planning and a lot of thing, and as a small team you don't want that many user stories. It can be reduced to some, like it is 10, or below 10 is good. You can work better on this. So that's one of the improvement you can make. Okay, so that's an example. Okay, to review it and retrospective. So that's about sprint review and retrospective. Okay. Any questions? So that is 3 meetings, sprint planning. Okay, some places you might have sprint grooming session, otherwise you don't. Then you have daily scrum. So, and then you have sprint review and retrospective. 3 major meetings, you'll be working on. Next, we'll just go to the next topic. So let's quickly check here. Let's see here. So this is a traditional way of doing. Okay. If you look at this board, right? They'll have this, board, which is set up this board, and they divide it into like 3, 4, 5 columns. Okay, and first column is user stories. You see this lot of user stories. This you see this with white paper. That is all user stories. White paper stick on it on the stories section, stories column. That's user stories. Okay, the whole bunch of user stories. Okay. Now next you have to-do list. To-do is the next column just after user story. You see the sticky notes? Those are the sticky notes. Okay. you have in this to do, right? What happens, right? Now, let's say the developer takes up some user story. Let's say the developer takes up this first user story. Now he says, okay, now I'm working on this, and it takes 5 days. That means now again, if he says 5 days, that means 3 days to development and 2 days for testing. So now we'll put that number here. Just put the number on the sticky note and what is the user story and what the developer is working on. They put it. Now, okay, now we cannot start testing before development is completed, right? The development has to be completed. So really, the testers don't pick the user story first. Developers pick the user story first. Okay, so that's how it goes. Now, once its to do is completed, let's say they strike that, 3 days. Now, okay, 5 days is done. Now, next day you strike that, put a 4 again next day. Okay, now they move this sticky note from to do to in progress. You see the in progress. Okay, so now that means they are working on. Once they finish there, like 3 days is done. That again, that sticky note, moves. They are, sometimes they put it just there and don't worry about it. Next testing is started. Now 2 days. You said 2 days, right? Now here, we start testing, and once it's completed, 2 days. Okay, one day you strike the number here. They put the number. Okay, that means 2 days and put the number again. Next day they strike the 2 and put it 1. And again, once it's completed, you could move the sticky note to the completed session. Okay, so these are the completed. When sprint ends, okay, we put all the sticky notes, move into sprint. Okay, completed session. So this is how they do in traditional way of moving the the work. Now move the sticky note from here to there, from here to testing. Okay, so and that's how they complete the work. So once this is completed, they have to design this charts. Okay, once it's done, they plot the graphs. Okay, it's like this. Okay, but here, since we don't really require this here. Okay, as you can see, this rally, if you can check here, rally. If you look at this, okay, we really don't have to move user story. So here you need to move, right? That you have to do manually. But if you check here, if you go in the task section, you see this, you have this option here. Okay, so you have this option to define in progress completed. You will look at this. If you can compare this from this, you really have this, not so good, but yeah, you can move your task, that means what you're working on, as a similar way what you're doing here. But here you are doing it manually, right? You have big board, set up for you, and since you use a lot of resources, you use Scrum Master, utilizing his time for putting that board, sticking up the user story. A lot of time is actually utilized here. A lot of resources. So now we really don't want that time to be used in this process. We want to save some time. So that's how you can use it right here. This the state which actually defines the state of your work. Is it in defined? Is it in progress? Is it in completed? And simple way again to make it more easy, since we were utilizing what? We were utilizing days, right? Why don't we utilize in hours? Let's say we want this in 10 hours. Okay, not in just 3 days, but now we are using hours. That makes really easy. Okay, now 10 hours is good. That means my work will be completed in 10 hours. And once it goes into in progress, okay, and now daily I'll be checking up. So 8 hours, really I don't work on 8 hours and complete this because there might be some impediments or something. So I'll be working more than one user story daily, not one, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, or more than that. Okay, not more than that. 3 user stories for one day is good. You don't want to do more than that because it requires a lot of coordination. Okay, so Now I want to check, let's say I work for 3 hours this day. Now I want to change it to, okay, so that becomes 10 minus 3. That's 7. Okay, we'll just put it here. To do is move 7. Right? That's how you can do it. Instead of doing in the board that is there here manually. Here you need to do manually, but in Rally, you need to require this. So this Rally is a very good tool for Agile. Okay, because here you can do all these things, what you're trying to do. Okay, HPLM is not really very good tool for you, to use in Agile because you cannot do all these things. Okay, you cannot change the status, you cannot change the hours, you cannot change, you cannot do anything there. So that's why it's really good, we are doing here. And description, here you can add it if you want to add some information like, okay, we are working on this, if you want to add some notes, okay. Let's say if you want to write notes, so here you want to write your name because here don't have this option. So anywhere you need to write the name. Okay, and that's it. So that's how you can do here through online. Okay, that's how you can change this state right from here. Here it says, okay, so everybody sees here, okay, so your boss knows what are you working on. So you said, okay, you're working on this and it's 10 hours and you really worked for 3 hours. Okay, what did you do the rest of the time? So they will ask you, what did you do for the rest of the time? The rest of the time I was working on different user story. Okay, so that was a different one, a different project or something, or because look at this, you're not working on just 1 or 2 user stories, so you'll be working more than 1 user stories per day because 1 is not enough. Okay, we cannot work on 1. You are working on many things at once in 1 day. Why? Because see, let's say this user stories has some issues, some defects. You cannot proceed further with your test cases, right? You cannot do anything. So that means you're idle. You cannot be idle, right? No one pays for you to be an idle. So that's the reason you will be working more than 1 user story. Now next you will be either you will be working on different user stories or or different partners issue or knowledge transfer, something or other you'll be working on it. Okay. So this is about this. This is a traditional way. So they might use a traditional way too. Okay. So you need to tell them no, no, you can use this in Rally. Rally, you have better option, because why you want to use this online? Because here the most important thing is you are reducing some of the time here in at least in daily scrum, because now what is the traditional way of doing daily scrum, right? You need to gather everyone at one place. Now there is an offshore team, there's an onshore team. Now this is really not possible to gather everyone at one place, so that's the problem. But if you're using this Rally, right, if you're using this Rally, you don't have to be at one place. You can just have a call, a meeting, which is online, and you can show them, this is the user story we are working on, this is the movement, this is what we did. Okay, so all this we can show, using this Rally. So that's the advantage of having, this Rally. Okay, not just this. Okay, so this is good for Scrum. Okay, so we discussed all this about the Scrum. Okay, we are just talking about this class was only for Scrum. There is one more called Kanban. Okay, that is more simple than this. We'll just talk about this Kanban. Maybe on the last class, 23rd or something. We'll talk about this Kanban. This it's just a small thing. It's it's good for small team, working small team, but if you're working large team, the Scrum is useful. But still, again, if you're using large team, you need to divide the team. Okay, one team, two team, three team. You cannot just put 20 members. Let's say there's 20 members. You cannot put whole 20 members in one. That's not possible. You need to divide at least, 5 teams, 3 teams, and make it Scrum Master, developer, this one. And if you're working a small team, Kanban is good. Okay, it's similar to here. You can, technically you can move the user story from one place to another. Okay, just like this in the board, what you're showing this board, right? You can do this similar way. Just put the sticky notes, put it in progress, put it from in progress to testing. Okay, you can do that in a tool called TFS, Team Foundation Server, that is from Microsoft. Okay. And so yeah, that's about the Scrum. Okay. Any questions so far? Let's check this. So we'll be having this. You can go ahead and look at this. I'll be sending you homework. Okay. So you can go ahead and look at this, understand a little bit. Okay. Make sure you understand this terminology. Okay. What are the roles? What are the responsibilities? And what are the various meetings you will be attending? And various charts you'll be using. Okay. So all this, just have a look on this. Okay. So let's quickly check this. So again, you have all this in, just wanted to make sure who doesn't know. Okay. All this is there in Google Drive. I hope I have given access to everyone, and whoever did have their Gmail ID, they can still access it. Okay, so I've given that URL. Okay, and you can go ahead and look at this. And so 26 directly. So here you have all the slides, what I've talked about, and there's more slides too. You can go ahead and review here. Okay, if you want to look, you can look here. Okay, so these are the slides. You can work on that. And that's directory number 26. Still, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. So you can go ahead and read a little bit. Is what we have discussed all this. Okay, so that's it. Any questions so far in the whole agile? So this has its own advantages and disadvantages. See, thing is, yeah, that's what I told, right? Not everyone is having this issue. Yeah, somebody asked, right? There is some internet issue because not everyone is having issue, right? Does everyone have issues? I mean, does everyone cannot hear it? I know some people are not able to hear it, okay? But not everyone, right? Some people can hear. So that's the reason, like I told, to check with your respective managers, okay? Um, See here it's showing as I have like full, yeah. Can anyone tell me, like, everyone has this issue? Everyone does. Some people see that's the problem, right? You guys are not proactive. When I asked at the beginning, when I said, like, there were like 5 people and nobody responded. Like, can you able to see the screen? Can you able to hear me? Okay, so you guys need to be proactive too. Okay, when I ask a question, you need to answer it, because when you're going into work, now if your boss asks some question, you cannot be silent. Here, okay, you can do. Okay, nobody is, no, nobody is saying anything. But when you know, at work, now if you don't give a response, now they'll wait for a while, and they will decide. So you need to be proactive. Okay, you understand what is proactive? That means if someone asks a question, you need to have an answer. Yes, no, I don't know, no, something. So nobody answered that, right? So that's one thing. You need to be proactive when I'm saying something. So now my question is, does everyone have this issue of not able to hear me, or is it only few people? So yeah, I know there's an issue for some people. Again, I'm telling you. So I'll be giving you good quality audio too. So I've been giving you good quality audio too, right? So let me quickly check. So if you have any issues, you can go ahead and listen to. Uh, check that. So I have better quality audio too. You can once you go home, whenever you're free, you can go ahead and you need to take out the options. Okay, you cannot just um, sit at see, this is the thing. Whenever this is at the workplace too. Whenever you don't have something which you don't like something, you need to come up with options. Here I'm giving you 2 options here. Okay, better quality audio. So if you don't hear something, so that's why I take an option for you. So if you cannot hear properly, if you have better quality audio. Okay, so make sure you use this. Okay, so you don't want to stick at one thing. No, I'm not able to hear. No, no, it's your fault. No, stop doing that. Okay, seriously, because no, you cannot do that at workplace. You can go and tell the boss saying that no, it's your problem. Okay, so you need to come up with options. So I'm giving you 2 options. One is better quality video. You can hear that. That's I'll be sending email shortly. And the other is what I've recorded. Of course, this might not be good. Some people didn't hear properly. That's fine, and I understand that. You also have an option for hearing a better quality video. Okay. Okay. Any more questions? Again, just repeating once again. If you don't have anything, you need to come up with option. Okay. So always have an option at your place. If something is not good, you need to have an. Okay, you need to look for another thing which is good. Okay, you cannot just okay, no, this is not working here. Some things may not work. In that case, you need to look for options. So that's the reason I'm giving you two videos. One is good quality. One is which I'm recording it. Okay, so you can look at this. And still, if you don't get, you still don't have good, you still have this. You can call me back. Okay. My phone number is, what is my phone number? It's 732-333-4781. And if I'm not available, send me an email so that we can call, I can call you back. Okay. Okay. So if no one have any questions, can we close this class for today? Okay. Thank you guys.